Okay, thank you everyone for joining today's webinar, Foundations of Wisdom, Introduction to the Upanishads. I'm Ankur Patel, Director of Outreach for Hindu University of America. We have Dr. Kalika Uttarkar joining from Dallas as well. She's the Director of our Community Education Division, wonderful faculty that we have. And we're going to get into it because today's webinar on the Upanishads, which are among the most profound spiritual texts in the world. They're concise, poetic, and transformative. They form the philosophical foundation of Vedanta and continue to inspire seekers across the centuries. But what are the Upanishads really teaching? How do they speak about the self, Atman, the absolute Brahman, and the path to liberation, Moksha? So that's what we're going to do in this webinar. We're going to introduce the world of Upanishads, explore their timeless wisdom through a little dialogue, actually. We'll reflect on some of the themes of creation, consciousness, karma, immortality, the pursuit of truth. And we'll give you a taste of how the Upanishads guide us beyond intellectual knowledge and actually towards realization. And our wonderful faculty, the guest, our guru for the webinar today, who's going to be leading us through this, is Dr. Kalika Uttarkar, who is a distinguished scholar. She holds both MA and PhD degrees in philosophy from the University of Pune. She has earned additionally a master's in psychotherapy and counseling. She has over 30 years of experience, and she's made significant contributions in the fields of philosophy, yoga, and mental health counseling. She's currently based in Dallas, and she actually serves as a yoga and psychological counselor, a motivational speaker. She's creating content on YouTube, and again, as director of community education at Hindu University of America, she's involved in many projects, teaches courses. We did summer camps together. We have of course, the Bhagavad Gita Pariksha, the Friends of HUA. Dr. Kalika is amazing. Not just her academic pursuits, but what she does as her karma yoga, she serves. And it was her passion project, her doctoral thesis, which was focused on the philosophy of life with reference to the major 11 Upanishads. So she is the perfect person to lead us today as she actively explores the intersection of Indian philosophy, yoga, and psychology to discern its relevance in contemporary human life. So, Kalika ji, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And yeah, so that's a little bit of an introduction. Thank you everyone for joining. And let's, if you want to say anything at the start, or do you want to just talk about the Upanishads in general? What are they? Why are they important? Maybe some background on that to get us started.
Sure. Thank you, Ankurji, for that generous introduction. And I'm so glad everybody's here on Friday evening, and with your valuable time. You are here to spend time with us on this webinar. So thank you, everybody, for all who have joined. Always a webinar on Upanishad or any opportunity to talk on Upanishads is very, it's heartwarming experience. It is something which is so close to me because Upanishads are the foundations of our existence. It won't be uh, too much to say that they are the roots of the tree. So if the roots are nourished, then the tree really grows big, and the branches and the leaves and everything is so fresh and blossoming. But if the roots are not nourished, then the whole tree will topple down. So Upanishads are roots of our foundational, there it is foundation of our life, of our society, community, and civilization. All the knowledge and wisdom that we call as Sanatana, it comes from Upanishads. So even Bhagavad Gita is Sarvopanishado Gao Dokta Gopalanandana. So Sri Krishna has also brought in the essence of Upanishads in Bhagavad Gita. All the Shad Darshanas, they originate from Upanishads. All the Smriti Granthas, they are also connected to the Upanishads. So let me tell you a brief introduction. So the ancient text that we have is Ved, and Ved consists of four segments: Brahmana, Samhita, Aranyaka, and Upanishads. So these are the four segments of Ved. And Upanishad is also called as the Vedanta. It is the fourth section. Why Vedanta? Because it talks about the fundamental questions, Veda Anta. So whatever comes in Ved, if we say that is the Pravrutti Marga, then what next? Tatah Kim? These kinds of questions are asked in Upanishads. And Upanishads tell us about the questions like who I am, where from I come. The Shvetashvetar Upanishad begins with Kim Karanam Brahma, Kutasma Jata, where from I come, where do I go, how am I here. So, all these fundamental questions, when they arise, what could be the possible answers to that? The whole discussion around these questions will be happening in Upanishads. So, Upanishad is basically Upani, that is to sit near the teacher, Guru, have a dialogue, and then try to understand different kinds of answers, different perspectives, different kinds of vision, and realize why I am here, what is the purpose of my life, and similar questions to go ahead. So, this is a very unique and necessary dialogue that goes in different Upanishads. Upanishads come with different stories also. It's a journey, it's a transformative journey, it is an enlightening journey, and it takes us closer to ourselves. So there are 11 Upanishads on which Shankaracharya has written commentary. Ishakena Katha Prashna Munda Mandukya Aitareya Taitiriya Chandokya Bruhadaranyaka, and 11th is the Shvetashvetar Upanishad. So we take this course in two parts, part 1 and part 2. So part 1 consists of 6 Upanishads, Ishakena Katha Prashna Munda Mandukya, and the part 2 takes care of the later 5 Upanishads, Aitareya, Taitiriya, Chandokya, Bruhadaranyaka, and Shvetashvetar Upanishad. So this course goes on for 2 quarters. So part 1 is first quarter, part 2 is the second quarter. So at the end of the 2 quarters, an introduction to all 11 Upanishads is given. The fundamental philosophical concepts are discussed at length. These classes go on for 90 minutes every Friday. And initially, I will be giving my presentation, and then it opens up for discussion. And the discussions go on and on. I have to tell my students that at a point we have to now stop at a particular time, but sometimes it exceeds till 120 minutes also. So it depends on the batch, it depends on the students. So every Upanishad, in a way, comes to us, we greet, we get to know the Upanishad, and we try to find how relevant it is with our experiences. Is it relevant to us? The life that we are living, the way we think, the way we see ourselves, is this all connected to Upanishads? This is the journey to understand that. I think that's the background of the course, Ankurji.
Nice. And the background to the Upanishads and an outline. Very nice and well said. Thank you for that. Vanessa from Texas, thank you for joining. Vijay Kane from Houston, wonderful to see you in the audience. I'm just going to launch another quick poll. How'd you find out about this webinar? Let us know. So now let's dive a little deeper. Right, you got some background on Upanishads. We've got some of the structure there. But why do people study the Upanishads from long time ago to now? And is it difficult to study? There's so many, like you're talking about, there are 11 different Upanishads, and how are they divided up? And is it difficult? And why do people study them today?
So, Ved is called as Sanatana. Ved is called as Apaurushaya. So, Apaurushaya is, it is revelation. It is understood. It is revealed to the rishis, and then it is expressed and it is taught to the further generations. But this knowledge is called as Sanatana. Sanatana means which doesn't have an origin, which doesn't have an end. So this knowledge exists. So from that perspective, knowledge of Upanishad is not time bound. It is not space bound. Why? Because as long as we exist in different space and time, it is about us. It is about who I am. It is about why I am sad, why I am happy. To say it is about sukha dukkha. It is about my emotions. It is about my thought. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, the concept of Panchakosha comes in. So Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanamay Kosh, Anandamay Kosh, and the existence beyond that. So these are different states of awareness that we all live. So Upanishads basically, they talk about us. So that's why it is always relevant. And however we may say that we are progressing and the society is getting more and more developed, we need to rethink about this, because there are two ways of experiencing. One is the external, outward way of getting knowledge. Another is the inward way of getting knowledge. So through my sense organs, I experience this world. And when I'm experiencing this world, I react in a particular way that forms our experience, and we think that this is reality. Now Upanishads asks us this question: do you think this is only the reality, or is there something beyond this? And that is the quest. So if, as long as I am using my sensory experiences and understanding the external world, that is one aspect of knowledge, where Vishavasya Upanishad talks about vidya and avidya. Mundaka Upanishad speaks about Paravidya and Aparavidya. So this is about knowledge about the external world and knowledge about the internal existence. So as long as these two things are there, studying Upanishad always becomes relevant. And this is a very interesting journey to see what Upanishads speak about creation, what they speak about karma, karma is our action. So Ishavasya Upanishad says that Kurvan neveha karmani jiji vishet shatam samaha. So you have to perform the karma and live a life of 100 years. So it is not about going away from the life or something. It is always relevant. We, as long as we are living our life, performing our actions, there has to be some thought behind it. What kind of actions do I do? What kind of actions do I choose? What is right? What is wrong? What is the parameter of choosing what is right and what is wrong? So as long as all these kinds of thoughts and discussions continue, Upanishads always become relevant. And the second part of your question, Ankurshi, was that many people think, oh, this is so difficult. Upanishads is not my cup of tea. So first thing is, if you know Sanskrit, that is a bonus always, because any scripture, reading it in its original language is a bonus. But supposingly you do not know Sanskrit or you know very little Sanskrit, even then studying Upanishads becomes very interesting and it is not that difficult. It goes around the different concepts of philosophy. And in this course, I make an attempt to simplify the concepts and relate them to our life, and that way understand what Upanishads are saying. So it shouldn't be difficult. So every batch, I have students of different background. Some of them are well equipped with the knowledge, and then they also enjoy. Many of them are absolutely new to the topic, so even they enjoy. It's an interactive class basically. So we all go together in this journey. It is more of facilitating, not more of one side talking. So that way it becomes very nice process.
Yeah, the dialogue is so nice, and in the webinar format, you can still exchange ideas, ask your questions. We have a few questions coming in the chat. We'll get to those shortly. But through the course, the two parts, right? In the first one, you're covering the 6 Upanishads, the first 6. So what are the major topics and themes that you end up covering over that, over the 10 weeks of the course, 10, 11 weeks?
So we start with Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasya Upanishad starts with the first shlok, where it says, one second, I think the video has gone, I don't know why. One second. Sorry about that. So the internet connection is on and off. So Ishavasya Upanishad starts with the concept of Ishvara. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. So what is Ishvara? And what is the meaning of that? Ishvara comes from the root it, that which governs. So what is this that governs everything, which is there in everything around us, in and out? Everything is Ishwar. What does that mean? So a concept like this. Then Kurvan Neveha Karmani is about the karma. So the concept of karma would come in. Then there is very interesting concept in Ishavasya Upanishad about Vidya and Avidya. So what is Vidya? What kind of sciences are called as Vidya? Which sciences are called as Avidya? And should we just learn one kind of science and philosophy, or what should be our way of learning? So Vidya and Avidya is also very interesting concept. In Kathopanishad, a very beautiful story of Nachiket comes in. So a small boy of 8 years, he is curious to know about what happens after death. There is a beautiful story around that, and then he meets Yama, the Lord of Death, and he says, who could be a better authority than you to tell me about what exactly happens after death? So Yamaraj tells him, gives him so many. He tells him, "You take so many apsaras, you take so many palaces. I'll give you the kingdom of everything. All the three worlds. And just don't ask this question. Be happy, enjoy your life, be merry. Why do you want to know what happens after death?" So that's a very interesting, mumukshutva. That is curiosity to know the reality, curiosity to know the truth. So that is a very beautiful discussion which comes in Kathopanishad. The concept of Shreyas and Prayas comes in. The analogy of a chariot comes in Kathopanishad. Kenopanishad, there is a story amongst the deities who are fighting with each other after winning a war, a battle, that it's because of me. Agni says it is because of me. Varun says it's because of me. Indra says it is because of me. But finally, who is that? Which is that element because of which we win our battles, without which we cannot exist? So the whole dialogue goes behind that. So the witness, the uncaused cause. So that discussion comes in Kenopanishad. Aitareya Upanishad talks about creation. Mundaka Upanishad speaks about a beautiful story of two birds sitting on the same branch. So again, what is Paramatma? What is Atman? What is the relation between that? What is the concept of creation in Upanishads? So that comes, and then Mandukya Upanishad also talks about Swapna, Jagruti, Sushupti, Turiya. These are different stages of awareness, and how we can relate it to our experience. And that is very interesting. In fact, the current neuroscience is also doing a lot of research in this concept of distinction between what is Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti, and Turiya Avastha. And then David Charmer comes with the problem of hard problem of consciousness. But what does Upanishad reflect on this kind of thing? Do we really have a hard problem of consciousness, or it is just for the scientific methodology of the Western science and approach and materialism, or not materialism exactly, empiricism, rationalism, which has added to this kind of understanding? So those discussions will also be happening. So beautiful concepts will go on, and in the second part, similar concepts will go on. So Maitri has a story, Yajnavalka Maitri. So Shvetaketu, Uddalaka is there. Then Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Panchakosha. Each Upanishad is amazing. It comes with, it's like if you in your childhood, if you have learned about the story of Ali Baba and the 40 thieves, they enter a cave, and the moment they enter the cave, there is a huge treasure inside, and then they become mad when they see that much of treasure. So a student, a curious soul, will be amused to see how much of discussion is happening in Upanishads. And yeah, so various concepts will be discussed.
Great. Thank you for that. Lots of important ideas and concepts and very well laid out. But like we're talking about the external, the internal, kind of that, self-realization, and the different levels of awareness and consciousness, right? So I
Mm.
think many people think that the Upanishads are about moksha and maybe even sannyas, right? You have to be like a guru in the forest or whatever it is,
Yes, yes.
to study, or that's how you get the most out of it. Is that true? Is it for regular people? What has your experience been with that?
Yes, so some people have this thought in their mind. Give me a second. Yes, Ankurji. So some people have this concept, and it is very popular that Upanishads talk about moksha. It is also called as moksha vidya. So people think that it is to be studied when we grow old, sometimes before death. When we are young, we should be happy, enjoy life, and enjoy it to the fullest. And then later on, when we grow old, we should think about moksha vidya. We should think about atma vidya. Frankly speaking, when we are on this journey to understand ourselves, when we are in this journey to get best out of knowledge, then what is the point in doing it when my body is not helping me, when my eyes are not helping me, when my back is aching, and I don't, I mean, physically it's difficult for me to sit for even 1 hour, and then I open my Upanishads and I say that I want to study. It is commendable if somebody is even curious at that age and doing lot of efforts. One has to respect that. It has to be appreciated. But I would say it's not that only. If we can teach Upanishads to the younger generation from the school, from the college, then it is the science of life. It is about every experience that we are experiencing. It is about Ananda. It is about happiness. Because human life, wherever it could be in the small village, or it could be in Dallas, it could be in New York, it could be in California, wherever it could be, it just revolves around sukha and dukkha, happiness and sorrow. And we all want more happiness, and we don't want dukkha. So, dukkha nivrutti, removal of sorrow, is the purpose. Now, how to do that? It is better that we learn early. More earlier we learn that the life that we live will be more fruitful, and it will take us to knowledge. So, from that perspective, Upanishads are not for the forest stay alone, it is for every one of us in this life. Second point, which says that Pravrutti Marga and Nivrutti Marga. Pravrutti Marga is about the worldly life, and Nivrutti Marga is about Atma Vidya. Both should go hand in hand. So, Ishavasya Upanishad says that Vidyamsha Vidyamsha Yastat Vedo Vayamsa. Both are important. Only one is always disastrous. It has to bind us. Knowledge has to be complete. It has to be, it shouldn't negate my experiences that I am living. Upanishads will never negate that. In fact, they will give us a proper understanding of it. So, Upanishads, Rishis, those are there in the Upanishads. They had universities, Gurukulas. They stayed there. They had their family, wife, children, and then they were the um, caretakers of all the students who would come there to study, like parents. And this Gurukul system is a very enriched system that we had earlier. And Upanishads were taught there, and not just that, all other vidyas were also taught to them. It was not just students would come only for Veda there, because Ved has Ayurved, Ved has architecture, Ved has astronomy, Ved has all kinds of sciences in it. And Upanishad is one part of it. So, worldly knowledge as well as knowledge beyond this world, both is considered very important in Upanishads. So, somebody might think that I want to go to Himalaya and study, do some tapasya. It is good for some time if you wish so. But if it's not possible, see, it is a science about how to stay happy, irrespective of the adversities, how to overcome my restlessness, how to come at peace with myself. In Upanishad, we talk about Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. So Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adhyatmika Shanti. Now that is something which is aspirational to every one of us, wherever we are. And sadhana is an ongoing process. Sadhana is to maintain our state of rest, stay undisturbed. And this opportunity comes to us every moment in life. For that, we don't have to go to the mountain. Every moment, there is a possibility that I will get disturbed. I will become restless. That every moment, I have to tell myself, no, this is not me. Problem is not bigger than me. I am bigger than the problem. So, divinity has to be realized. So, once a person realizes that my real identity is Brahman, I am the divine, then we don't get attached to smaller roles, and then we don't get affected by the smaller things. So that way I would say Upanishad is science of life. I'm not, we shouldn't say science, I would say it is Jivan Vidya. So science again is a limited word. So it is Vidya and Apara Vidya. So these concepts will come in the class also. Yeah. So if I've answered your question, Ankurji.
We have a few questions coming in. We'll get to them shortly. Thank you. And if you have, please put in the Q&A box. I think this is kind of where my kind of framework ends a little bit, is just what you talked about is a lot of, setting the goals right, what purpose of the action that we're going after, and how do we use kind of the Upanishads and what's there to direct us, a little bit better. How do we utilize that? And so maybe with that, you can give us some directions for us on how to use it for goals and purpose towards action.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our goals, like, and most of us, we have similar goals. So when we are born, we are named. I'm Kalika, you're Ankurji. Every one of us have names, and then we capture that label. We stick to that, and then we are somebody's daughter, somebody's son. Then we go on into different roles, relations, and then we are living in this world. So we go to school, we study. We are told that we have to get good grades. Then after that, tatah kim. Okay, so what next? So after school, build your resume while you are in your high school. Tatah kim, get admission in the best of the best college. Tatah kim, study well. Tatah kim, get good job or do good business. Tatah kim, parents will say, now you are settled, get married. Tatah kim, what next? We want to see grandchildren. Okay, tatah kim. Now the grandchildren should have good sanskaras. They should also be dharmic. They should also be truthful. Okay, let us nurture them. We nurture them. And then again, they get into the same process of school, college, resume, marriage, settlement, and again they will have their kids. So Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Janmam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Shainam. So again and again I die, again and again I take birth. It is like the grass which grows and then it dries up and then the seeds fall down. Again it grows there. So this is a process, it goes on and on and on. Then the question is, why is this all happening? What is the purpose of this? Who is playing this game? Are we into a simulation center and somebody is directing us? Or are we free to choose our actions? Am I the chooser or I am just here? Is it the destiny that is driving me? What kind of choice is there with me? So here comes the concept of karma also. And here comes the question, what is the goal of my life? So from Upanishads later on, this concept of Purushartha was developed. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So this concept of Purushartha, we will see how it encompasses the Pravrutti Marga and the Nivrutti Marga. And then what should be the ultimate goal of life? If I ask you all, what is the best goal of life? The best goal of life is if we can smile in any situation, isn't it? Come what may, if I can smile, That is the goal of my life. Smile shouldn't be fake, it should come from within. That comes when I'm stable. That comes when I'm undisturbed. That comes when I'm complete. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So I'm complete. When I get that experience, there's nothing I really want. Then I will not dig out into holes and try to get that and fill my um, uh, limitations. I am always a consumer. I want something. And I feel that when I consume something, I will be complete. So we consume food, we consume information, we consume knowledge, we consume material things. Since we are born, we are consumers. So somewhere that cannot be the goal of human life. Goal is when I don't need to consume. Goal is when I feel complete. And that is what Upanishads tell us. So while achieving this,
I think we just lost Dr. Kalika Ji for shortly. Let's ask her to turn the camera back on.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think the
you're back.
internet is unstable, Ankushi. Somehow it's.
Yep, you're back though.
I'm back. Yes. Yes, so there are different goals. While achieving this stability, this state of rest, being at rest, how do I do my karma? So dharma is there, morality, dharana dharma. So what is the significance of morality? The whole world says we have to be moral, but Upanishads tell us why we should be moral. So that is dharma. Artha. Our civilization, Sanatan Dharma, has never celebrated poverty. We talk about Shri, we talk about Samruddhi, we talk about prosperity. So, Artha, for good cause, through good means, is achievement for us. Kama, desires are never negated. They have to be understood and we have to navigate through them. And without getting attached, we have to transcend them. So, there is a process of how to experience our desires and go beyond that, how to transcend. And then comes moksha. So all this together, it is not hierarchical, it's not linear, it all comes together. So that is the philosophy of Upanishads, I would say, which really helps to live a happy. Am I
Yeah,
visible?
you're back. Yes.
Yeah. So if we have to take any questions, Ankurji can take.
Yeah. Smiling even in the face of technical difficulties, right?
Yes.
Like keeping it going and honing in on what the goal is, what we're here for. Let me just drop a little bit of details of the course in the chat. Let us know if you're interested in enrolling in the course. All right, so now we'll get into your questions. VJG starts us off with a very interesting question just on avidya, right? Avidya.
Mm-hmm.
So can Kalikaji, can you give us some examples of avidya? And should we study avidya or should we try to get rid of it? And avidya is ignorance or unwisdom, right? Vidya, knowledge, and then the antithesis. Yeah.
Okay, so the main word is vidya. Vidya comes from vida dhatu. Vida is to know. Now, to know something is vidya. Now, avidya is a relative term. It comes in Ishavasya Upanishad. So, what is avidya? That kind of vidya which does not help me to understand the ultimate reality. But that doesn't mean that it is not helping me to know other things. So, avidya is knowing the material sciences. It is about understanding through my sensory experiences. I have the sensory experiences of seeing, hearing, listening, and so many other organs are there. So we experience this world and we need to know about this. So avidya is equally important. Then what is Vidya? Now, Vidya, as some scholars understand, it is the knowledge about the Atma Vidya, or knowledge about the ultimate truth. Now, Shankaracharya has, in his commentary, he has said that it is the Vidya about the deities. So that is a different discussion. Sometimes we can go into it because Shankaracharya talks about Vyavaharik Satya, Pratibhasik Satya, and Paramarthik Satya. So that kind of an translation speaks about Pratibhasik Satya when he talks about Vidya. But let us stick to Sanskrit, and he also has a different way of explaining it. But today, as we don't have a lot of time to get into it, Vidya is important. Avidya is also important. So, knowledge about the world where we are living is equally important. See, in logic, there is a beautiful concept that necessary but not sufficient. So, material sciences are necessary. Water is necessary for living, but it is not sufficient. We need nutrition also, we need food also. So, material sciences are necessary to live in this world, but other Atma Vidya is also required to transcend this. So both are equally important, and Upanishads often talk about this. If I've
Nice.
answered you, Kaniji.
Yeah, that was Vijayji. Thank you, Vijayji. Very different Vijay. I don't think that was Vijay Khaniji. That was a different
Okay,
Vijay, but
okay. Yeah.
glad that
Okay, Vijayji. Yeah.
good question. AT is asking about and wanting to know which is the best and most relevant trusted source to read the Upanishads, right? This is something that we come across all the time.
Okay.
What is a good translation? What is the source? And then AT's follow-up question is, which is the best source to learn about overall Sanatan literature? And so for that one, I think it's Hindu University of America, right? With the different courses we have,
Okay.
we make the scriptures available, like different translations, different faculty will curate and upload the translations and transliterations and maybe multiple translations so that we can share all of that. But I'm sure you get this all the time too, Kalika ji, if you want to answer how do we trust a translation, and what translation should we use, and how do you navigate all of that?
So the best source, one second. So the best source to learn Upanishads and Ved is Sanskrit. Unfortunately, today we are not equipped with that. Then the next source comes is our vernacular language, because it has many Sanskrit words into it. So if we are acquainted with our mother tongue, with various vernacular languages, it helps us. Now, if even that is not happening, then if we come to English, now which is a better translation? So I would say if you are well acquainted with Hindi, Marathi, or other languages, Gita Press Gorakhpur comes with a very good translations. So I would prefer that. If that is not available, then Swami Gambhirananda ji's translations are also there. They are very good. Now over here, some people may want a different kind of interpretation of Upanishads. Maybe not the Shankar Bhashya, but from the Ramanuja perspective or Madhvacharya's perspective, then there are different translations available to that also. So we, as you join the course, we would let you know different sources. There are a couple of books, like one book is written by Swami Nikhilananda. Now that is in English translation. One book is by Swami Prabhavananda and Frederick Manchester. 112 Upanishads by K.L. Joshi, O.N. Bimali, and Vindhya Trivedi. This is also a very good source. So yeah, once you join the course, we will let you know. These are different ways to understand Upanishads. And last but not least, I learned Upanishads from my teacher and my father. I often mention that. And when I learned, I was not an academician then. I was a young child. And since then, I learned from him at different stages in my life. And he often told me, if you really want to understand Upanishads, do your sadhana. It is not an armchair thinking, it is not just an intellectual activity. Keep meditating, keep practicing, keep looking within yourself. And if learning goes along with sadhana, we correlate that with what we are seeing in the text. And that is the best method. Because even in Shvetashvetar Upanishad, when the rishis ask, Kim Karanam Brahma Kutasma Jata, so many questions. And then they say it could be destiny, it could be just random, it's just yadrucha, it is just there. After all logical discussions, also they feel something is lacking. So they say, Te Dhyana Yoga Anugata. So they went into meditation. So sadhana is important. That is the primary source of understanding what Upanishads are saying. Thank you.
Just one more time. What was the English book? Which Swami's translation did you say was particularly good?
Swami Nikhilanandaji's book is there, Principal Upanishads. Then Dr. Radhakrishnan has also written translated Upanishads. Then K.L. Joshi has also written. I just want to just let you all know, take it with a pinch of salt, because certain concepts would be there, like the Aryan theory, or because these books were translated at a time when we still had this colonial impact. So certain things in the preface, in the introduction, may not be something that we would agree now, because there's a lot of awakening and awareness happening. This is a good sign. But I would say philosophically, I would say these are good books, and those translations can help you to understand the philosophical concepts. Yeah.
Great. Hopefully, John, you find one that you like, but please do enroll in the course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Radhaji is here today. Ankurji, Radhaji is here.
Yeah, Radhaji. Okay, let's see
Thank
if
you, Radhaji.
you can unmute.
Yeah.
Radhaji, if you want to unmute and say a few words. Radha Ellen Katz.
I don't have anything brilliant to say because it's been a couple of years since I was in the presence of my dear teacher, but I love every class I take with you. And it's just rich, and especially for me who didn't grow up in this tradition, I think you have an incredible way of bridging the gap. I mean, I felt so included and so just so truly taught. I don't know, I don't have another way of saying that. I feel very confident, not on an ego level, but in terms of my body, my mind has received direction on how to read the Upanishads. I have them in the house, obviously several different texts. And it's in all of my studies since then, I have felt so ready to keep going, and have the references. It's been very comforting. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Radhaji. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. I wish you all the best in your spiritual journey.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Radhaji. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next, Kiranji is talking about consciousness. We touched on it. Definitely intriguing. Maybe, and I know you're deep into it, and your daughter also. We were talking about that. The current neuroscience and the hard problem of consciousness. And Kiranji is just kind of asking how our scriptures address it or talk about it, but other aspects of this hard problem, and how this is a part of how you present the information, how you teach, and how you share, and why you're such a good teacher. Yeah.
So a hard problem of consciousness comes from a understanding that, see, when does this problem arise? When I try to derive consciousness from matter. When I try to derive consciousness from my brain activities, from my chemical dispositions, and then I don't know where from this singular experience of subjectivity that I exist, I am experiencing this experience, where from does it come? The experience of being a witness, the experience of being the experience of existence, where from this come? What happens in brain, and how does the neurotransmitters react, and how come consciousness arise? So this is an old dichotomy by Descartes also, when we talked about mind body dichotomy, famous, Rene Descartes, he talked about it. Whole of Western philosophy, you will find different philosophers discussing this. So yes, from the scientific methodology, when you try to stick to that methodology, this problem will be there. It is a problem. But when you take a perspective from Upanishadic angle, then consciousness is prior to everything over there. And everything that has emerged is just an expression of consciousness. So that heart problem no longer exists there. So, see, we will always have a hypothesis. In the scientific methodology also, first we get a valid hypothesis based on logic, experiment and everything. And then we try to prove that hypothesis. And when that hypothesis is proved, we say this is a valid hypothesis and then we call it as knowledge. And that is scientific methodology. But when we think about Upanishads, it is a different level of experiencing. So when they say that consciousness is me, I am Sat Chit Ananda, it is within me. So here the source of knowledge is not just perception, inference, and intuition alone. It is a different level of experience. So that consciousness is the prior element there. So that problem is not there in that. Somebody will doubt. Why do you say Brahman is there? Why do you say consciousness is there? Then even Upanishadic Rishis will say, don't believe in that. If you want to believe, experience it. And if you want to experience it, then practice sadhana. See, that's also a journey. We cannot get everything through shortcut, isn't it? At the most, what we can get is, we will say, okay, Brahman is the most valid hypothesis that I have found. And we are very logical and rigorous. In Sanatan Dharma, we have Tarka Shastra. We are logical. It is very rigorous. And so we can get to an hypothesis that Brahman exists. Now, how to prove that? Then either use the methodology of Western science or use the methodology of sadhana that we have. Chitta Shuddhi is there, Mokshatva is there, Dhyan Dharana is there, absolute bhakti is there. So that we have different ways of getting there. So this is a different kind of experimenting, but ultimately we need to prove, because Brahman is beyond space, time, causation. It is beyond any naming. In Vaisheshik Darshana, substance is that which, Dravya is that which can be named. But Brahman cannot be named. That is only one thing which cannot be named, because it cannot be described. Because anything and everything that is to be described has to be created. And everything that is created will have an end. Then it is not the ultimate reality. It is time bound. But Brahman is beyond all this. So this kind of discussions will keep happening. I would welcome you to the course. Looking forward to see you.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you for that question and then getting into it. Rick, I don't know if I understood your issue correctly, but glad that you're going to be interested in enrolling in the course. The support team will be able to help, and if not, I'll put my email as well, and we'll walk you through that. Thank you, Rick. Surendraji, yes, extremely interesting. Dr. Shashi Sane, glad that you are here. He says he joined from the very beginning. Well done. He's proud and reminding you to do sadhana. Nice.
Namaste, Saneji. Thank you for coming, Dr. Sane. It's pleasure and honor to see you.
All right. Vanessa Harris is a very good point. There are many great acharyas who have shared different interpretations of Upanishads. They offer their commentary and maybe elaborate more on one part than the other. So how do we approach this when we're studying the Upanishads in light of the different commentary? And I think this applies to so many other, especially, the Bhagavad Gita, how many different commentary on each shloka and how that applies.
So, first thing which is very much important while studying Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad is, in Hindi, there is a beautiful word called chokha. Chokha is the cloth that we wear. So, any sampradaya for that matter, I would say, it could be Shankaracharya, it could be Ramanujacharya, it could be Madhvacharya, it could be Kashmiri Shaivism, any perspective, as long as we are stuck in a lens, we are stuck by the ability of that lens and a perspective. So that's why I said that when we are reading Upanishads, when in fact any philosophy for that matter, first we have to keep our biases and dogmas aside. Absolutely be open to learning. And then read Upanishads as with their translations and see that it is going consistent or not with your experience. And then see, again, people are of different temperaments. Somebody would like a logical endeavor. They would want everything to be clean on logical scale. Some people would prefer bhakti. They would say bhakti is my way of going ahead. Absolutely, that is one way of going ahead. Let me tell you one thing. Even if you practice Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, whoever it is, or even any other perspective, remember what is the ultimate goal? It's about knowing oneself. How do you name it? How do you describe it? Will vary in different sampradayas. But that experience of divinity will be same. Whether you call it nirguna, whether you call it saguna, whether you say that there is bhed, whether you say that is abhed, you say it is dvaita, you say it is advaita. Don't get into all this. And that is why sadhana is also important. So that helps us to correlate with what we are studying. Otherwise, it's a jungle. We may get lost into it. And we may find Upanishads very difficult, Bhagavad Gita very difficult. No, relate it with your experiences. And therefore, Upanishads are important because it is that source of knowledge from an ancient civilization which encourages us to ask questions. Why? It will not punish us because we are asking why. It will not outcast us because we are questioning the validity. It will try to answer. It will try to help us to go there. And this is the pure journey of knowledge. Curiosity, mumukshitva is respected, encouraged. So, and what happens once we are into it, eventually we start we get to know how we can distinguish between different kinds of interpretations. And whichever suits to our temperament and our buddhi, we should pursue that. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Kalika ji. Couple more questions. Seva is asking how, Ms. Kalika, Dr. Kalika, do you explain Pran Pratishta in Hinduism, but how do you explain it to non-Hindus?
Prana Pratishtha. And that's a little different topic. I think we can, one second. Yeah, so we can discuss that sometimes later. Probably if you come in the course, we'll have a detailed discussion on it because it's little different discussion. If you want an Upanishadic perspective on that, we can have a discussion around that in the class.
Okay, great. Yeah, some of this does require more conversation, deeper dive, and extra time that we don't have today. Please do fill out the poll. I've got it in the window. It should have popped up. Let us know if you're interested in enrolling in the course. If you haven't asked a question, now is your time. If you want to just drop in the Zoom chat where you're zooming in from, I can give you a shout out. We're nearing the end. Oh, Arvindji, glad that you are joining. And Kalpana ji is asking, does Upanishad speak to illusion, to our illusion world, to our illusory world? I think so, right? There's so many different aspects of the perceptions that it helps us get into.
Upanishads talk a lot about this. You know, the concept of Maya, which comes in the commentary of Shankaracharya comes in. Yeah, there is a lot of discussion around it. Just, very shortly, let me ask you, what is this? It's an illusion or it is a reality?
I'd say it's a reality. I see the pen.
It is a reality because it's a pen. But is it only because if a dog comes and sits here, what will it think about this? Does the dog know that this is a pen? Doesn't know, because that is our understanding. So then is it an illusion or is it a reality? If it is just my perception and the dog doesn't see it as I am seeing it, then is it a relative knowledge? What is it? So what is Maya? Is Maya real or Brahman alone? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, is only Brahman real? What is the real meaning of Maya? What is illusion? Maya is not illusion. Maya is called Anirvachani. It exists, it doesn't exist. So Shankaracharya explains it as pratibhasika, vyavaharika, and then paramarthik. So on the paramarthik level, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. But on the pratibhasik level and the vyavaharik level, Jag exists, world exists. So this is a protons and electrons and photons. It is not a pain. So how do we see at a particular thing? What do we think about it? So here itself we see that this could be an illusion. A scientist would say, no, this is illusion. Do you think this is plastic? No. You just disintegrate it further. You'll see something else. So we are in the world of forms and we understand world in different forms. Now, are these forms the only reality, ultimate reality? Upanishads are questioning this. So let us not just get stuck into this, but try to figure out what is there which is beyond the form. Yeah. We'll have a detailed discussion in the class.
Best use of a pen. Rick is asking, do we need any prior reading or preparation before starting the course?
If you have, it is good, but even if you are absolutely new, it really doesn't matter.
And maybe just the range and diversity of people that have taken your course and understood and appreciated, if you want to just talk to that for a little bit.
Yes, we have a mixed group of people who want to study Upanishads, who have already studied Upanishads, and different age group, I would say from age 30 to 85, 88. We have people of different age groups with different professional backgrounds, academic backgrounds. We have scientists, doctors, engineers, professionals from all fields. Now, most of the people who have studied a lot, they also want to have a perspective. So all sorts of people would be coming, but I would say this group is amazing. Every batch is special because we have mumukshus coming who want to learn, who want to study. And this is not because we want to get a degree and get into some kind of occupational things or something. This is sheerly out of love for knowledge. So this is a wonderful group which comes. So you'll also be learning a lot from your peers in the discussion. You'll enjoy it. I would
Wonderful.
request to stay with us for 6 months in part 1 and part 2. Uh, Eventually, we are also coming up with part 3 because apart from 11 Upanishads, we are planning to take another 6 Upanishads. We are coming up slowly with the micro certificate format where you will get a certificate. You will be entering a program if you take a group of 4 classes which are closely related. So many things are happening in HUA. Now we are coming up with different courses. So I would say join in through this course and you will see there is treasure available for all of you, for all of your different kinds of interests. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I shared the link in the chat to register. It's going to be this time on Fridays starting October 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific until 10:30, about an hour and a half. Sometimes it goes longer if we have a lot of questions and engagement. It's a $300 course. There's a scholarship link I just shared right under there if financial hardships are a thing, or if you're in India, Greater Bharat, South America, Africa, where it's different income levels, we can adjust accordingly so that you can take this course and enter on this path. Yeah, so we're nearing the end. Last chance to get in your questions. Surendraji, okay, interesting question. You see this? Why should we go for full knowledge, Nyanmarg, which takes a lot, instead of just going for Bhakti Marg, which is the same, complete liberation? So which path and how do you decide? And why do you choose?
When we talk about Bhakti Marga, let us come to the concept of Navavidha Bhakti, 9 steps of Bhakti. And what is the end part of ninth step in Bhakti is Ishwar Sanidhya and Ishwar Prapatti. So, what is that grace that is bestowed upon the Bhakta from Ishwara? What is that? What can be that? That is Dukkha Nivrutti. that once you are graced by Ishvara, you are no longer sad, you are no longer dukkhi, you are always happy. So, what is the goal of Bhakti Marga? Is Ananda. It is being undisturbed, it is being always at peace. What is the end goal of Jnana Marga? It is the same. So, whichever path, if you are climbing the Everest, there are different ways of getting to it. But believe me, once you are on the top, it's going to be the same. Different people will explain it in a different way. They will give it different names. So, it is said that Jnani Purush, they think alike. So, the knowledgeable people, they think alike. They may name it differently, describe it differently, path may appear to be different. So, Bhakti Marga, if you feel suits your temperament, that's good. Go ahead with that. In fact, I have people in my Upanishad class, they say, why do we want moksha? We don't want moksha. There was one student, he said that it's okay, Upanishads are talking so much about moksha. I am happy the way I am. I don't want moksha. What does Upanishad say on this? That was the question. Upanishads say that as long as you are enjoying this game, please enjoy. No hurry. If you want to live the same life again and again for another 10-50 times, there is no hurry. The moment you feel that no, now I am tired and I want to think beyond this, Upanishads are there. Time is relative, space is relative. As long as a particular jiva is interested in this world and is happy about it, continue. So if somebody says that I'm having my lunch and it is such a nice food, how can you just eat one chapati and get up? You have to also sit. Let us eat a lot. What would the other person who is on diet say? No, no, please continue if you're enjoying. But there will be a time when you will feel that now I don't need anything. You will stop. Similarly, somebody who doesn't want moksha now is also fine. If they want to move around in the pendulum of sukha and dukkha for long, it's good, let them enjoy. But after a point, there will be a time when you'll feel that no, I need to go beyond this. Then the Atma Vidya comes in picture.
Nice. Very good questions today, audience participants. Glad to have all of you with us today. Had the poll up. Quite a few of you are interested in taking the course. Maybe some interested in the programs we offer. Glad to hear it. If you haven't yet filled out the poll, let us know. Last chance to get in the chat, shout out, maybe an emoji if you like the webinar. Actually, give us one of those. Thank you everyone for being on today's webinar. As always, Kalika ji, really appreciate you. Amazing, the conversation and the sharing and connecting such an important topic in a way that makes sense and is relevant. Very, very wonderful to be a part of. All right, Rick, you're raising your hand. Was that just an emoji gone? Yeah, probably he's trying to make the emoji. But if anybody else wants to get in a question, now is your chance. Kiranji, then thank you. Great question you had. Nazliji, please do consider enrolling in this course. I think I've seen you on a few of these recent webinars. Aditiji from Minnesota, glad that you were able to join. A lot of familiar folks in the chat. Thank you everyone for being with us today. Let me hand it to Dr. Kalika Uttarkar for her closing thoughts and to close out the webinar. Thank you, everyone.
First of all, thank you everybody. Thank you Ankurji. As usual, you are amazing. A dialogue with you is always adding energy and lot of happiness. So thank you. And thank you everybody. And I'm looking forward to see you all in the course and we will have a lot of discussion. I would say this is a journey of realizing divinity. So one thing that would happen is if you join the course and if you have some introduction or some different kind of understanding, you would be able to share it to the new generation. So your children and grandchildren and whoever is around you, you will become the ambassador of Sanatan Dharma. And therefore, this is not just for, it's not just a personal activity, but it is our kartavya, it is our duty. It is the samaj runa that we have to pass on this towards other people, towards the future generations. And so get equipped, be confident, and therefore I welcome you to the course. See you soon. Thank you. Namaste.